Gentlemen, this house believes that artificial intelligence will result in greater unemployment in the Saudi Arabian market. But first off, what is artificial intelligence? It's a tool made by humans to lead to an advent for revolutionary development that is developed constantly by humans. That is what AI stands for, artificial intelligence. This house shall tackle two aspects: development and impact. Now, the whole debate is about Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Arabian market. Obviously, Saudi Arabia has got its own vision 2030, meaning the situation in Saudi Arabia when it comes to the usage of AI, artificial intelligence, is quite different. According to what has been happening recently, Aramco, which is a Saudi company for oil, has got their own shares, a portion of the shares, a tremendous portion, laid out for the public to be sold. And this is what is holding the economy of Saudi Arabia. Now, we get back to what this house firmly believes in. Artificial intelligence will result in greater unemployment. In a very sensical, logical context, when there is a new technology introduced to the market, what is going to happen? There will be greater unemployment because the market is not used for that technology because it's new. That's why the word new is in the dictionary. It introduces something that is unknown. Now, is it permanent? No. It's temporal. But the question is, how long will it be? The 2030 vision has laid a lot of options, a lot of opportunities, and a whole different vision. But first, let's lay out the first argument. The future of the Saudi market is determined by AI simply for one reason. For the previous few years, since Saudi Arabia was constituted, it was laid and dependent on oil. That's for the economy. Right now, 86%, a tremendous portion is laid out for the public for foreign countries to come and invest, meaning the economy of Saudi Arabia is going to be changed tremendously. That's why part of the 2030 vision is to increase the non-oil products when it comes to the GDP. So what is going to happen for Saudi Arabia? Now, sustainability trumps stability. We're talking about long-term, we have in short-term. When it comes to long-term, to meet the 2030 vision, we need AI. This house does not stand against having AI. What this house firmly believes in is very simple. It will result in greater unemployment, but it's not permanent, it's only temporal. That's how the Saudi vision for 2030 is going to reach and be attained. Again, to reaffirm what this house believes in and the points and the arguments, before we just go to the first speaker for the opposition team, the future of the Saudi market is determined by AI. This house does not stand against the usage of AI. What it does is it says that it's going to be temporarily for the unemployment to be increased greatly. Thank you.
Gentlemen, good afternoon. The proposition team said that the new technology will result in a decrease of the job because of job opportunities to human labor force. Well, we can reply to that easily by saying, look at the Industrial Revolution. It revolutionized the technology for production in business sector, and it created new jobs. Simply, look at the 21st century. Look at the 21st century, the 20th century, and the late 18th century. Look how it was revolutionized by, for example, the steam engines, the mass production assembly lines. Second thing we would say, they said that 2030 vision goals, one of them mainly one of the main one is to decrease the dependency on oil. Well, decreasing dependency in oil would require artificial intelligence in our market, because if Saudi Arabia would include artificial intelligence devices and machine in its market, for sure they have to produce these machines and devices to actually help in producing goods and services and doing cognitive skills related jobs. For example, analysis, forecasting, and etc. So that's why having oil, a 2030 vision, it's actually parallel and actually is related and linked to having artificial intelligence in our market. First of all, the proposition team did not define two main things precisely: artificial intelligence and unemployment. First, artificial intelligence, the term, was laid down by the American computer scientist named John McCarthy. He first coined the term AI. Second of all, they defined AI in a really brief way, which was not specific, but we would define it as the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines. These processes include data collection, learning, and reasoning. The third one is so important, and I'll show you now why. Particularly, the application of AI include expert systems, speech recognition, and machine vision. Now, there are two types of AI that you should need to pay attention to: weak and strong AI. Weak AI is just like, for example, Siri, the one you have in your phone, which is not that sophisticated and needs your intervention and programming. Strong AI is something like Sophia, for example, the one for NEOM, the one we also, like Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman showed in NEOM Forum. Well, there's one more thing that is really important. They did not define unemployment, and if you go to any macroeconomic book, you should need to pay attention. This is a principle, this is not a theory. Unemployment has many types. There is actually always a healthy unemployment rate in an economy, which is laid down as 4.5%, which is okay, considered okay. You have frictional unemployment, you have structural unemployment, you have cyclical unemployment, which is the bad one. You have also long-term unemployment, underemployment. What type of unemployment are you talking about? And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, now going to my first argument, but before that I would like to lay down our two aspects. I would be, as a main speaker, talking about the economic aspect, and my friend, the second speaker, would be talking about the social aspect. Now, if you would tell me that AI would result in a greater unemployment, I would like to ask you simply, what is unemployment? Is it just sitting at home not doing a job, not doing anything? No. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, to be counted as unemployed, you need three main points. First of all, you are available to work, you are ready, mentally, physically, educationally, you are ready to work, to perform the job. But, going to the second point, but you're not actually working. Neither part-time nor full-time, nothing. Third thing, as you should have been looking for a job for the past 4 weeks and you haven't found one. So, first point, I just want you to pay attention to it. When I'm replaced by a machine, artificial intelligence machine, am I going to be available to work? No, because it's sophisticated and hugely capable compared to me. So I'm not going to be employed. It's actually going to be performing the job instead of me, that machine. Okay? So, for example, you have Amazon. You have Amazon store in New York. Actually, you go there, you will not find any human beings doing that. No human beings actually working for you in the store. Actually, it's machines providing you the goods and services. And if you would look at the equation to actually calculate the unemployment rate in the economy, it's the unemployed number of people divided by the labor force. When I'm replaced by a machine, am I going to be considered a labor force? No. So that's actually going to be against the equation. I cannot divide the number of human beings divided by the artificial intelligence machine who are actually now the labor force. Second thing, I would like to say that it will stop.
That we're having a great time by listening to this debate. But the question is, which side is more paramount? Which side has a firm conviction that they believe in and is very strong and is very empirical? It's not about just presenting ideas, examples, research, statistics, to just believe in an idea that is truly empirically not right. First of all, as the other team had mentioned, it does revolutionize. True, it does revolutionize, but what is revolutionize? Revolutionize is to change something completely. That's the idea of a whole revolution. Oil does not require AI. It does require AI. Automation. It does require automation, artificial intelligence. But to get it back to the whole debate, what we believe in, back to the revolution. What artificial intelligence is going to do firmly in Saudi Arabia, and just like how the whole vision has been showing videos, talking, that's going to do a whole revolution where AI is going to be firmly much used in Saudi Arabia, just like the 2030 vision mentions. In terms of unemployment, me as an employed person, I don't need, for example, to go to whatever company to just get a contract that proves that I don't have a job. Simply, I'm unemployed. I don't have a job right now, I quit the job, I'm unemployed. Simple as that, it doesn't need to get any sophisticated. Let's take the sophistication to AI and how it's going to revolutionize the whole business and how it's going to help in Saudi Arabia. Strong and weak AI. Both Siri and both Sophia run on the same thing, database. The difference is what Sophia does, the database is the internet, and the database for this one is code. It's just different codes, but both rely on database. Amazon stores do have humans working there. The only thing that is not there is clerks. The people with the cash register. There is surveillance cameras, there is people there because it's a new technology, and obviously humans need to be there. And again, humans need to be constantly improving artificial intelligence, just like Siri. If it wasn't for humans, you would not have it more developed next year. If it wasn't for humans, you would not even have artificial intelligence. As a matter of fact, what AI is going to do by creating greater unemployment, because again, simply, logically, what it's going to do is bring a new technology. And Saudi Arabia is a different country. Now let's ignore the 2030 vision objective. One of the objectives, by getting into the e-government survey index, which all the countries have basically invested in artificial intelligence and do actually teach it in universities. They don't teach it down here. It's empirical. At least at Imam University is not taught. So it's a new technology. There will be greater unemployment for some time. All right? Now, again, artificial intelligence. What is it going to do in Saudi Arabia? Sustainability trumps stability. We might have stability for a little bit of a time, but when it comes to sustainability, it's a whole different level. Because without sustainability, we're not going to be alive to just witness artificial intelligence in 2030 vision. All the objectives in the 2030 vision are not going to be met because simply sustainability does not exist, because all the countries are having a whole war on the e-government survey index. Artificial intelligence does revolutionize because it's the future. Again, to just bring to what the first speaker had mentioned before, our team. What is going on is simply one thing. If it wasn't for Aramco, we would not be in severe urge to have artificial intelligence incorporated in Saudi Arabia. The shares are being sold to the public, and that's why we need not only to create more job notches, which will be created after the greater unemployment happens because of the new technology that is not even being taught in Saudi universities, unlike the e-government survey index countries. Now, what is unemployment? Unemployment is quite simple. An individual does not have a job. It's not about not being skilled enough, it's not about whatever, it doesn't get more sophisticated. And for the definition that the opposition team had mentioned, that definition was taken from a long time ago where computers, the first level of artificial intelligence was introduced. Artificial intelligence does revolutionize, meaning it does change. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, gentlemen. As the second speaker of the opposition team, I'm gonna refute what the second speaker from the opposition team said. He said something about humans are needed for artificial intelligence to develop them. And what you stated is that humans are needed. Won't that decrease the unemployment rates? Going back to that point. So there's going to be more engineers developing this intelligence, this technology, this new technology. People will, how do I say it, supervise those technologies so they don't mess up, so crime doesn't happen, especially in the Amazon store. You stated that there are humans there, and if a machine doesn't work, there is someone to fix that machine. So unemployment rates won't increase, they will decrease. And an example for that is, look at Tesla, the company Tesla, the car manufacturer. They have around 45,000 employees. And what they do is they produce artificial intelligent chips that run those cars, that self-driving cars. Isn't those chips and those cars considered as AI, artificial intelligence? Another point is, artificial intelligence is actually beneficial. They won't decrease unemployment rates, as I stated before. And in the US, artificial intelligent cars lowered accident rates by 20% in the last year. Basically, it saves our lives. Come on, we don't have any more drunk drivers because we actually have cars that drive themselves. It helps with a lot of things. It's very beneficial. Other examples for AI cars, Toyota, the company, is starting this new project about AI cars, artificial intelligent cars. And that project increased their employment and the number of employees in that company by 5%. So the point is, artificial intelligence won't decrease employment rates. And that's our debate today. You went and said stuff that's not related to our debate today, and our statement today. And revising everything, what they said is absolutely wrong. It won't decrease employment rates. It won't increase unemployment rates. On the other hand, it will decrease the unemployment rates. And the arguments we stated, and AI cars will lower the accident rates. Thank you.
Three, two, one.
Gentlemen, I think every single individual in this room can agree on one statement. Forget what the whole house believes in. The first speaker of the proposition team, the second speaker, the third speaker, we're in a state of confusion. Does this house believe that humans are needed or not? This is truly the question. It will increase, it will decrease, it will decrease, it will increase. What does this house believe in? If the third speaker believes that it will decrease, it will increase, and just believing that this whole debate is about confusion. Now, logically speaking, logically thinking about the whole thing, Tesla, 45,000 employees, do they represent the whole world, all the billions that believe, that live on this planet? All the future generations, do the 45,000 people represent every single individual in this room, every single teacher in this university, every single individual employee? Do the 45,000 people actually represent this whole quantity? Absolutely ridiculous. Now, Statistics for a second. The third speaker had mentioned something very valuable. The House believes that AI will actually decrease jobs. Well, according to PNC, it will actually create more jobs than decrease. And according to what this whole House believes in, it will result in greater unemployment for a temporal amount of time, and then after that will be actually way more. Meaning like it will just create and then basically fill. Why? Because it's the future. Do individuals, aren't we all under pressure? Do we not have parents? Aren't we like in the future like marry and have kids to take care of them? So are we just going to be just unemployed and not have a job because AI is just out there revolutionizing the whole industry, increasing, decreasing 2030 vision? It's absolutely ridiculous. We as individuals in this country do represent the whole country. Why? Because the efficacy of every person goes all the way not only to the 2030 vision, not only to every single objective that is there to better the life of every single individual in this country, but also is helping you, your family, your friends. It's helping even the economy. That is what AI is doing. It's not about decreasing, it's not about increasing, it's not about research, it's not about unemployment, it's not about some human who just defined this word. No. It's quite empirical. Let's just forget the whole statistics for a second. Logically thinking about it, again, as it had been stated twice up to now, once there is a new technology out there in the market and you as an individual do not know how to use it, are you going to be employed to use that technology? No. It's impossible. Why? Because we don't have any knowledge. We cannot use that technology till we learn. But right now, in Saudi Arabia, artificial intelligence is not being taught, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be taught later. No. Because artificial intelligence is not only going to be used as automation and to basically bettering the economy and meeting the objectives for the 2030 vision, but also going to be taught. Meaning the whole temporal thing that this House believes in and logically believes in, which is the greater unemployment, which is going to be temporal, meaning after a periodic amount of time, it's quite simple, it's going to disappear. So right now, this whole debate is not about greater unemployment, it's actually about the future of Saudi Arabia, it's actually about your family, it's about the economy, it's all about that increase for a better life. That is what the House does firmly believe in. Thank you.
Gentlemen, sorry. Yeah, good. Yeah. The proposition team said, or actually the team itself, Danny, said that human beings are needed to operate these machines to actually for them to work, in replying to our argument saying that it's going to replace us as human beings. But that's actually a contradiction to his side, or their side, which would result in a greater unemployment. How are you telling me that these machines would actually need human beings to operate them, while at the same time that would result in a greater unemployment? Second thing, they said or criticized the thing when we said oil needs automation. We're not saying that oil does not need automation. We were talking about the goal of the 2030 vision, which is decreasing the dependency on oil in our GDP of the economy. The highest percentage of the GDP goes for the oil in our economy. So that does not have anything to do with AI and automation. It has to do with the fact that we want to decrease our dependency on oil, and we can create more jobs in production for AI machines. Now they said AI is just like humans, like they said, for example, that these machines, they need human beings for them to keep developing themselves. Or in defining AI, you mentioned one of the three fundamental characteristics of AI: data collection, learning, and reasoning. So I would like to ask you, you would say, okay, it keeps need developing. No, it does not keep the need developing. It's just like, giving an analogy, it's just like a newborn baby, this technology. When you have a newborn baby, to a certain age, you would leave them alone. After you have built them to a certain development stage where they can actually rely on themselves. I'm not going to deny that, yes, there are some jobs that still need human beings. Psychiatry, for example, you cannot compensate human beings for, you cannot actually alternate human beings and replace them with AI. But still, forecasting, analysis, weather forecasting, weaponry during war, during fights, during missile launching, you need AI for that, for more specifics, for more preciseness. For spaceships, you need AI for that. Human beings cannot be that precise when you in doing calculations, when you have that sophisticated mathematical formulas and difficulty when you are dealing in something like outside the planet of Earth. So one more thing is, when we said that, okay, human beings are replaced with machines, still, that machine, okay, when you do a job, why do you do a job? Simply, okay, to make money, but why do the society needs you for that job? In exchange for the goods and services you are giving them. Now think about it, when the machine is doing the job, still, it's actually giving the goods and services, but does it need salary? Does it need health insurance? No. Does it need life insurance? No, it does not need. It's just given that goods and services, and the money that was supposed to be given for all these millions of devices that replaced human beings can actually be retained by the government and companies for public projects and to increase the welfare, to increase the national income per capita, per person, per individual. So for that, and actually that can result in something similar to the UBI, the universal based income. We can have national based income. So that would increase the welfare of the Saudi national in the country. Thank you all.
This house believes that we should have a